Welcome to Health and Self. Today is a special day. I mean, this whole season we've been celebrating different days, but today it's actually our anniversary. And I have my husband, DeReardon, here with me. DeReardon, say hello.
Hello.
So we are actually celebrating, let's see, let me do the math. It's our 12-year.
12, yes. 2010.
2010, it's our 12-year wedding anniversary. And I thought maybe we would just make a little special dinner just for the two of us. What do you think?
Works for me.
All right. So what we are going to make today is pretty simple. I think this would appeal to you. I have two fillets, beef fillets, filet mignon. And then I thought maybe we'd do some roasted asparagus, maybe a little like mushroom balsamic.
I'm happy with anything that involves steak.
So there you go. All right, so easy peasy. So first, before we get started, I do have, I need to turn my oven on. So we're gonna roast the asparagus. We could grill it, but I figured it'd be nice to roast it, mix it up a little bit. I get a lot of questions on like Facebook and Instagram about how do you roast vegetables. So I thought asparagus would be an easy one to kind of show how we roast vegetables.
Works for me.
Would you like to season the steaks for me?
Sure, why not? It's normally my job at home.
That is your job at home, correct. Salt, pepper, garlic powder, good?
Sounds good.
All right, fantastic. So you season the steaks. When you season your steaks, it's good to do it a few minutes before you actually intend to cook them. Also, don't throw a cold steak on the grill. You do actually want your steaks to kind of come up to room temperature. So take them out a few minutes before you're ready to cook them, and then you can season them.
Which one is yours? Because I'm heavier on the salt. It's terrible. But
that is not the Health and Self way. I mean, no. Whichever one. You pick whichever one you want. Okay. That's what I feel like what I usually do is I'll bring the steaks home and then I'll go, which one do you want? We also like our steaks 2 different temperatures. So that's... That's important to note. But back to the vegetables. So when you roast vegetables, really easy peasy. You want to make sure you have a good wash on them. Run away, run away.
Run away.
Run away, run away. The cool thing is you want fresh vegetables picked at their peak. I'm kidding. I don't know if these asparagus were really picked at their peak, but they are fresh. I've washed them. When you do get asparagus, I mean, asparagus is really in season right now in Delaware and like New Jersey, Pennsylvania. It's really a great season for it, but store it in about a couple inches of water. When you do get it home, that helps it to last a little bit longer. With asparagus, I know I showed you guys this on National Asparagus Day, but you can either snap it like this to kind of find that natural breaking point. The bottom of the asparagus is traditionally a little like woodier, a little stringier than the top of the asparagus. But because asparagus grows in a bunch, you can do it for one, and then you just take your knife, kind of line it up to where the first one snapped, and then just cut down. I love to roast vegetables. I do it all year long. But in the summer, I mean, DeReardon, you can test. We spend a lot of time on the grill in the summer, which is really nice. Allows you to kind of get outside, enjoy the sun.
And less to clean up.
And less cleanup, exactly, because your grill, there's like virtually no cleanup with your grill. So take a sheet pan when you're roasting vegetables. Let's see, I do need my olive oil, which I tucked down here.
Olive oil.
My secret stash cabinet. So you want to take about a teaspoon of olive oil. That is not your whole cap. You just want to pour a little bit into, and then just drizzle it on your sheet pan.
Those asparagus are thick too.
They are. I mean, they vary in size. Sometimes that'll also determine your cooking time. You want them to be still crispy, but not flimsy. And then you just spread them out on your rimmed baking sheet. And then what I like to do is, because there's olive oil on the bottom, I like to essentially just kind of roll it around so you get the olive oil all around. And it spreads it out. So you could do this for broccoli. You could do this for carrots. You could do this for potatoes. You could even roast green beans. I mean, you can really just about roast any vegetable Will you please pass me the salt, pepper, and garlic powder?
Oh, absolutely, dear.
Oh, thanks. I like to keep my seasonings pretty simple. Also, because you want the freshness of the vegetable to really shine through. So about a quarter of a teaspoon and about a quarter of a teaspoon. And the same with the garlic powder. Just a little sprinkle. You're just kind of doing it to taste. And then essentially, you're going to do the same thing. You're just going to kind of zhush them around so the seasoning gets on all of them. Now, roasting.
Is that a zhush? Zhush them around?
That's a zhush them around. Zhush, 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 swishy. These are real technical terms, you know. They're in the culinary dictionary of words.
Zhush.
Zhush, zhush. Okay.
That works.
Into the oven, these are going. I have my oven set to 350 because I'm going to do a slower roast. You could go 350 to 400 degrees roasting temp. Potatoes take longer. Asparagus does not take very long. Watch yourself, sir.
Don't burn me.
Take you out. All right. Now, for the steaks, I have our grill heating. If you were using your outside grill, depending on how well seasoned your grill is, you do not probably have to oil it. Oops. This one I will give a little bit of a quick spray to, just so that way our steaks don't stick. Do you need tongs?
I use a fork.
Okay, that's fine.
To flip it over.
Works for me.
Found one in the stash.
I have a little bit of canola spray. I don't know if you want to put one in one or you can just do them both on one side.
I use the tongs now.
Canola has a high cooking temp, so it's very grill friendly. So if you do have to oil your grill indoor or outdoor, you essentially could either use a cooking spray. Do not use a cooking spray over open flames.
Can't get it.
Let me just say that. Now, did you season both sides?
Yes.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Thayer. But
I know
when
you
are,
normally do one side first, right?
yes, I do. I usually do one side, and then while it's on the grill, I season the other side. You can do either or, whatever floats your boat. And you could throw that stuff in the sink. I'm going to put my little asparagus bits on your stick.
You got a little lid to the garlic.
When you are grilling outside, though, and you are oiling your grill, put your oil on a paper towel, a damp paper towel, and then you oil the surface of your grill. Like I said, don't use spray cans over an open flame. Bad idea. That will not end well. Next, so while our steaks are going, I like mine medium rare. He likes it.
Yours is probably done for your standards.
It is not. I mean, I like a little brown. I like a little grill mark.
Okay, if you say so.
I like a little grill mark. For indoor griddle, you want your heat like medium to high. You really want to get that sear, which you hear. Sear, which you hear. I'm rhyming. I don't mean to rhyme. I do it all the time.
Stick to your day job.
Oh, you got jokes. Okay, so meanwhile, I'm going to make our mushroom balsamic topping.
Yeah, in our house, we have mom jokes. We don't do the corny dad jokes.
Yeah, there's no dad
It's all
jokes.
corny mom jokes.
It's just mom jokes.
She has like a book of them.
I do, but I don't need the book. I'm just off the top. I'm going to take my mushrooms and just going to cut them in half. So they're a little easier. These are just white mushrooms because that's what was on sale at the grocery store.
There you go.
Sometimes I like to do Bella, portobello, whatever you find.
I like the word sale. That works.
Sale. So we have 4 kids. And just that alone, it forces you to shop on a budget. They are 4 girls, so they don't eat as much as if we had 4 boys, thank goodness. However, they're athletes, so they actually probably do eat as much.
Yeah. They do eat.
Jordan's a competitive swimmer. Mia is a competitive swimmer and competitive runner, track and cross country. Veronica's a competitive gymnast, and Zoe is also a competitive gymnast. And then everybody does summer swim team because it's important everybody learns how to swim. But yeah, so with the amount of sports, it's easy that we go through food in our house quickly and easily. And when I think that they're not going to enjoy something or they're not going to eat that much of something, sure enough, I turn around and it's like gone.
And it's gone. Yeah, anytime I plan on leftovers for lunch the next day.
To take to work.
For some reason, when I open the refrigerator in the morning, the food is not there.
And I'll tell you who's the biggest thief of leftovers. Jordan.
Jordan.
Sorry. Jordan. She steals all of the leftovers. If you're like, oh, I'll have that little bit of leftover, zucchini stir fry, it's already in her lunchbox on its way to school. I put about a teaspoon of olive oil in our pan that we're heating up over medium-high heat. Now, this is super easy. This is kind of a great way to add a little additional flavor to your steaks, And you like mushrooms.
I do. Acquired taste as I've gotten older.
Well,
along with asparagus.
Well, so to that
you.
point, asparagus is because of me and mushrooms is because of you. I eat mushrooms because of you. As a kid, I wouldn't have touched a mushroom with a 10-foot pole. Wouldn't have done it. But after, hanging out with you a few years, I started to learn to enjoy mushrooms. And now I can eat them probably almost every day.
Well, contrary to the narrative, I enjoy vegetables. So, yes, I do like vegetables. My family tends to tell a different story, though. I don't know why. I'm just not a green bean fan.
You don't like green beans. You don't like carrots.
I don't like carrots. And if I do, I like them really soft.
Smushy.
I know this is health and self, but
you like them smushy.
I like to cook out the nutrition out of them.
That is not what we're trying to do here.
Well, I eat them however you make them.
That's it. You do. That's fair. Oh my goodness. So
you might want to keep track on your steak too.
Which one's mine?
Whichever one you want.
Where'd you do with your tongs?
Oh boy.
Tell you.
There we go. We can't bring our home struggle to here.
I know. We do like to cook together a lot in the kitchen at home. Oh yeah. That one yours?
Sure.
You gonna leave it on there for a little longer?
Yeah, let it keep going a little bit.
Okay. We do enjoy cooking together a lot. A lot of times it comes around like meals like this, steak. We cook spaghetti sometimes together. That's always fun. Sometimes we make tacos together, but usually it's like I start on the taco meat and then I've got to go run and do somebody's hair for like gymnastics. So then you pick up and take over.
I'm a little bit more limited in my culinary skills.
You're not. As my mother, who is not a cook.
That's not nice.
She's not. Jolene knows she's not a cook. That's okay, fair.
That's not nice.
But I do have a little garlic powder. I'm going to sprinkle my mushrooms with just a little bit of garlic powder. And then I'm also going to sprinkle them with a little bit of salt and pepper. But when she married my dad, one of her college professors gave her a cookbook. And on the inside, she said, Jolene, you're smart. If you can read, you can cook. Essentially, if you can follow a recipe, you can read the recipe, read these steps, read the instructions, you can cook.
That might be easier said than done, but I hear what you're saying.
So anyway, I take that. I think you can cook more than you think you can. All right, so our mushrooms are just kind of starting to heat through. Ooh, that looks good.
Flip that over.
Now, to my mushrooms, I'm going to add about 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar. The whole idea, get a good balsamic vinegar. And then I'm just going to let these simmer in the sauce. It's really not much to it other than that. And you're going to let the balsamic reduce down. Smell that vinegar?
I always like the way that smells.
Balsamic vinegar is it's so good. It has so much flavor. If you've never tried it, try it. I always say kind of start with maybe like a balsamic vinaigrette dressing. It's a good gateway. And then you can kind of start to adjust and add balsamic more to your everyday life. All right, so that's going. Ooh, this is like, I've seen Chef Dana do this. Makes me feel like I'm doing something fancy.
It looks fancy.
Sizzle, sizzle, sizzle. Yeah, no, I've seen him do that. And I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that and not make a mess. So, Javier, tell the people how long we've been together.
I say how long. I know how long we've been married. You keep track of the together part, because
So we met in
1995.
the summer of 1995. So that would be, don't do math.
Yeah, a long time.
A
We'll
long
just
time.
go with that.
27 years. Right?
Yep,
Yeah,
we're
that's
the classic high school sweethearts.
We are, and it's been fun. It's been a wild ride for sure. Here's
Especially
something.
since the children came along.
Oh yeah, that changed. That changed everything.
Became a roller coaster.
Became a roller coaster for sure.
It was just a nice merry-go-round before that.
Yeah, and then they came along and everything changed. But do you remember how you proposed?
Oh, in Hawaii? On the beach?
Yes.
I think I sang you a song.
Oh God.
I'm not going to do that here.
Please don't.
I shouldn't have done that there.
No. There were people like walking. So we went to dinner first, and you hadn't proposed, and we were just enjoying dinner. We were in Hawaii. I'm gonna take my steak off and let it rest because it's done.
Yours was probably done 10 minutes ago.
There we go. And then when you do take your meat and steak off the grill, let it rest. Let it sit for like 5-10 minutes. It kind of sucks back in all the juices, which is the good thing, but it also doesn't dry out. So you definitely don't want it to dry out. I'm gonna turn our heat down on the mushrooms and let them
The heat on this thing, we could probably cut it down a little bit though.
simmering. There we go. Yeah. So anyway, we went to dinner. We went to a steakhouse, matter of fact. So that's interesting that we're having steak. But here's the thing.
I thought that was part of while we were doing this.
Yes. Well, I'm going to ask you a question. I'm going to put you on the spot.
Oh boy, been on the spot this whole time.
Do you remember, oh, I moved my cutting board. Do you remember what I wore the night you proposed?
No. I remember what you had on the very first time I saw you when we were 13 years old, but
Man, I'm telling you.
no, I don't remember what you had on.
I actually had on this blue dress and this denim jacket. Well, it wasn't this navy blue dress. It was very similar, but I had on this denim jacket. I pulled up the picture because when we went to dinner, they came around, Hawaii's a tourist place, so they took pictures. I found our engagement photo from the dinner, and I was like, I still have that jacket. I don't have the dress
So
anymore.
you cheated though.
I did.
You found the picture. It wasn't just straight off the top of your brain.
But I knew I wore this jacket. I couldn't remember if I wore a blue dress or a black dress. But yeah, I wore a navy blue long maxi dress like this and this denim jacket. So anyway, just thought, sorry.
I think I was just nervous that you wouldn't say yes, especially after I sang.
Well, yeah, you didn't talk much at dinner. I do remember that. You did not talk much at dinner, which made for kind of like a long dinner. And then, let me check on our asparagus. And then we went for a walk on the beach.
Do you have to give him a zush?
I am going to give him a zush, 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 swishy, swishy. They are turning bright green, which is what you want. So you can see they're nice and bright. Swish them around just a little bit more.
Smells good.
But anyway,
we
so
can probably take this
I think
off,
your
too.
steak is ready also. Look at all the blood rolling out of mine.
Let's do the old.
Do the test.
She might be a little over, but that's okay.
One cool way, and you could just turn that off so it stops cooking, to tell if your steak is done, you use like the inside of your hand, and depending on which part you push on tells the temperature, right? So medium rare, it's supposed to be like really smushy, and then the more cooked it gets, the harder and tougher it gets. You turn it off? Yeah.
I think it's off.
It is off.
Off, right? Okay.
So anyway, we went for a walk on the beach. After dinner, we went for a walk on the beach, and I was exhausted because on Hawaii, Hawaii's like 5-6 hours behind, and I woke up at like 2 a.m. that morning to get through, like just because my body was still on East Coast time. And so by the end of the night, we went for a walk. We sat on a bench. I was like, I'm tired. Can we just sit? Then that's when he starts squirming. Then you
Squirmed? I don't remember.
I don't know.
the
He was talking. He was like, something. What did you say? You said, would you like me if I sang better? And I was like, what? What are you talking about?
I'm
like,
not a singer.
shh. Like, all I kept thinking was like, shh. Oh, I remember. I was talking about the ocean waves. I was like, oh, listen to the music of the ocean. Like, it's so pretty. Like, would you like me better if I sang? And I was like, oh, God, please don't. Please don't. And then, like, at that point, I think I'm staring out in the ocean, and I turn and look, and he's down on one knee, and then he sings. And I'm like, oh, my God. No. But it was really cute. You sang that, like, old song, what was it, by Jagged Edge?
Oh.
Let's get married or something.
Right? That's what it's called now.
And I was like, oh my gosh, you're not doing this here. You're not doing this here. Get up, get up, get up. And then sure enough, he proposed. And the people walking on the path. It was dark. I mean, it was really romantic.
She said yes.
I did say yes. 4 kids later, here we are.
Here we are.
All right, so our mushrooms are done. They've been cooked down. Turn them onto like a keep warm temp. I think our asparagus is about done.
You know me, I'm a tester. Can I,
okay, yeah, you can test them. You like, they're hot.
I do, that's okay.
You like mushrooms.
Especially with that balsamic.
It really, like, I mean, mushrooms are pretty bland themselves. So adding a little balsamic to them, or even a little butter, any kind of sauce, really just ups the flavor. All right, so our asparagus are also complete. You can see they're nice, bright, and green. Now, asparagus has been known, if you have the, I don't know what kind of gene, what it's called, but the gene in your DNA, asparagus can make your pee smell funny.
If you have it, you'll know it.
Yes. Whoop, run away. Come back here. Do you want a lot of asparagus or a little?
That's good.
Give you one more.
I like vegetables, but I can't say as much as you do.
I love vegetables. I can make a whole huge sheet pan of these and eat it like all week. I'll put it in a Tupperware container. I'll eat it for lunch. I'll eat it for breakfast. I'll top it like with eggs, or I'll eat it next to eggs. I'll eat it as a snack. They're good cold. I mean, so good for sure. And easy to make. I mean, you could roast onions, tomatoes, peppers, anything and everything. Just that easy.
You get all excited about it too.
I do. Gosh, I really, really like them.
I get excited about the steak.
Well, you're about to eat. A lot of mushrooms or little mushrooms?
A lot of mushrooms.
Now,
I always said, though, I'm not a vegetarian by any means, but if I did cross over, I think mushrooms would be my...
kind of like substitute?
Yeah, my substitute.
Well,
definitely.
You know, mushrooms are really a good meat replacement. Brandon, one of our producers, he's a vegetarian, and I always tell him, I'm like, you could easily grill up like a big mushroom and not replace like your hamburger. I mean, it's easy to make mushrooms like
I've actually had one of those.
They're really good, right?
Not bad at all, but I do
in
like
that
mushrooms.
drawer in front of you, sir, are forks and steak knives on the bottom.
Okay, we got 4.
Thank you. And then on the bottom should be some steak knives.
Steak knife.
Oh, wait, before we get started, because it's our anniversary, I forgot I have a little bubbly for us. I should have brought our toasting glasses from the wedding in, but okay. Twist the cork, not the bottle. That's how you do it without it popping up. It's fancy, fancy, fancy. Smells good too. All right, so I only have one champagne glass, so we're going to use martini glasses.
That works. Potato, potato.
Potato, potato, tomato, tomato. But we did not call the whole thing off. Did you know that's the rest of that phrase?
No.
So it was an old argument amongst a couple. And he was like, you say potato, I say potato. You say tomato, I say tomato. And then at the end they say, well, let's just call the whole thing off, because they couldn't agree. So they were calling off their wedding.
I learned something new today.
You were this old today when you learned that was actually today years old. Okay. So here's a little cheers to
All right, cheers.
12 years. We've survived.
Still surviving.
Still surviving. I love champagne. Okay, well, here's your steak, sir, and your steak knife. The asparagus. I'm gonna try my asparagus first because I'm excited.
I'm gonna go with the steak first because I'm excited.
Oh, perfect. So mine has a nice pink, warm pink temperature to it. Perfect. Get a little mushroom.
Mine doesn't have as much pink. Although I don't mind a good medium. And it's taken a while to progress to medium. Show you hers rare. Like
This is so good.
super rare.
Isn't this nice? It's just the two of us. There's no kids. It's quiet. We could just enjoy the sound and our food all by ourselves. It's so nice.
Well, that changed.
Oh my God, no!
Whoa.
Where did you people come from? Well, so much for that. Hi, family. So these are our girls. Of course, I mean, our anniversary would not be complete without them being with us. So we have Jordan, who I know some of you have met through other episodes of Health and Self. We have Mia. This is an age order too. Jordan, Mia. She's the tallest one. Veronica, and Zoe. These are our 4 daughters. They are what make, I think, will make our family complete. But this is what makes kind of the anniversaries more fun. It doesn't seem like when we're like, oh, how many years has it been? Because it's fun. We enjoy it. I'm sure they've come over because they're like, they love steak too. They are their father's children. So, here, girls, you want some steak? Of course, yes, please. Who's going first? Oh, there you go. All right. How's that taste? You like it? Jordan also loves mushrooms like her dad. So I usually know I can kind of. You want one without a mushroom? But you like mushrooms, don't you?
Yeah.
There you go. Good. Mia's like, hello. Zoe, did you get some? What do you think, girls? How'd Daddy do seasoning the steaks?
Good.
Good? He's great at that.
Still not my job at home.
Well, this has been fun. Nice surprise. Reardon, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you.
Cheers
too.
to-
Cheers again.
Many, many more. Thank you for watching. For more recipes like this, be sure to check out selfsoulspace.com, and we will see you next week right here on DETV. Cheers.